And those are the people in organizations or even in businesses that are able to thrive because they acknowledge the fear, they understand it, but they don't let it hold them back. Don't let them overcome them, and they move forward with their task, whatever it may be. And that's something I've learned so far. And every day making these videos, you have that small. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back, and I wanted to just share real quick again here on the book on Lynchpin by Seth Godin. On He gives us I constantly hear a lot of the books that I've read about feeling the fear and do it in any way. In any part in life, we're gonna have a lot of inner fears. And again, he's not talking about like you go on a bridge and you jump off a bridge or you get in front of a bus. We're not talking about those type of life-threatening fears. We're talking about just the fears that of everyday interactions with other people. Maybe talking to a stranger, maybe approaching someone, again, approaching a stranger, maybe at work, talking in front of a big group, maybe making a public speech, which I think a lot of us, is one of the biggest fears, making a public speech. And these fears that we all kind of have built inside naturally. And he basically says, if you really want to stand out, and the ones that do stand out, the ones that are able to overcome those fears. I mean, they're not fearless because they have the fear. So he says, it's it's about being. He defines being fearless as having the fear and managing it and doing it anyway. And those are the people in organizations or even in businesses that are able to thrive because they acknowledge the fear, they understand it, but they don't let it hold them back. Don't let them overcome them, and they move forward with their task, whatever it may be. And that's something I've learned so far. And every day making these videos, you have that small voice in your head telling you, "Hey, you cannot make a video today. You don't have the right equipment. You're not ready yet. You don't have the right lighting. You don't have the right camera." It's a lot of things that I can think about that I will make videos. If I see a lot of these guys on YouTube with great gear, great editing, great lens, like, it's phenomenal. So it's like I definitely second guess myself. So anybody out there trying to start a YouTube channel, don't let that hold you back because I know how that feels. That being said, it talks about also the factor of there's another one that you could be fearless, you can be reckless, and you could be feckless. So it says fearless is where you want to be. You want to be able to overcome your fear and do it anyway. You don't want to be reckless. Like you don't want to. Basically, what he's saying, reckless is basically, you know, going into places that only a fool would go to. So I would kind of define that as like, I guess, being in a meeting with your boss and your boss says something and you kind of react in a very unprofessional way. I mean, that's kind of reckless because you know that, especially in front of other coworkers, the boss is not really gonna, I would say, be comfortable with that, and it might even cost you your job. So these are kind of reckless situations, unless the boss kind of asks you for feedback in front of everybody, then that's okay. But maybe addressing it in a more professional manner might be a little more fearless. But reckless would be like you just basically spill out everything, maybe use bad, terms, maybe even personally attack the individual. So like this is reckless, right? This is reckless behavior, and he's not talking about that. Then he talks about feckless, where he says feckless is the worst of all because he describes it as ineffective, indifference, and lazy. So I would say for me, feckless is when you don't do want you want to do something but you don't do it. You act like it's not you don't want to do it and you don't pursue it, and that's being feckless. You're just you have the means, you have the smarts, the wits, you have even maybe some individuals have top quality. I would say you might have the new phone if you want to start recording video. If you want to do a podcast, you have awesome microphones, but you don't do it because you feel that you don't need to. So it's like that's I think indifferent to it. I think, and that's probably the worst place to be. Like, because I've been there. You know, you are every day going to these jobs that you might not want, that you might not like, and you're not really understanding what you might be good at, understanding yourself, and trying to figure out maybe where your skills can be applied better. That's kind of being feckless because you have the talents, but you're not really directing them towards places where you can kind of thrive. And we choose to stay somewhere maybe without, you know, again, we're not saying that don't do anything, but if you're doing something you kind of are not really feeling comfortable, you might want to be on the side, kind of learning about yourself, especially personal growth, learning about yourself first and foremost, learning what interests you, what you really like to do, and kind of start picking and choosing on those places and becoming more of an expert in that area, and then start finding out ways how you can dive into that 100%. And then I think that's when you kind of start with the fearless, because now you start to dive into the topic full on, and then your fearless attitude takes over, and you start living that purpose-driven life. So you definitely don't want to be reckless, where you want to go in and just like, you know, be uncompassionate, unempathetic, you know, and just bashing places. You don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to be feckless, where you don't do anything. Like, you don't feel like you want to be there, but you don't do anything at all. Like, you don't even think about what you can be doing. You don't care about what interests you have. You just kind of accepted and kind of accepted that this is the way of life, and you're gonna be miserable for the rest of your life. And I think that's, you don't want to be that at all. But fearless, you want to be able to practice that on a daily basis. Whether it may be making a video about yourself, maybe a 10-second video every day in front of a social media platform, and learning how to speak in front of your phone. Eventually, you can probably learn how to speak in front of a public, room. But small steps, you know. Nobody's talking about diving into one of those public public speaking engagements out of the overnight. But maybe little by little, working your way up there. And I think it's also great because you kind of understand how powerful you are, and you see how your mind can actually be, you know, working for you as opposed to against you, because the mind is always gonna be more comfortable than you are. So these are the tricks of the trade. If anybody's out there reading, ready to read that book, let me know. Tips, you know, comments down below if you can. But let's go out there. Let's be fearless. Let's you know, feel it, accept it, and do it anyway. Attack that what you want to try. You know, go out there. We only have one life, and the worst thing you can know. They always say the worst thing you can do, the worst thing that can happen, is go back to what you were doing, and you know that's probably the worst thing that can happen. So that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. And true significance here in this world, and I think we all on the same journey. That's what we all want. I think at the end of the day, we want to be able to know what are we here to do, and I think it's one day at a time. So let me cut the video short. I'll see you guys next time, and look out for my videos, guys. Thank you so much for following me. I appreciate you guys, and don't forget to like if you do and subscribe. I'll see you guys.